Hello everyone, my name is Tyler, and the topic of today's video is how to absolutely destroy procrastination. Are there some things you should be doing right now that you're putting off? Are you trying your hardest to suppress the anxiety of those unfinished tasks? If so, we got to start crossing some of those things off your to-do list sooner rather than later. After you finish reading this, of course. The only thing between you and a more productive lifestyle is the dreaded beast known as procrastination. Now, it's kind of complicated. I wish the answer was as simple as Nike made it seem. It probably was when we were younger. We probably used to be able to just do it, but now the cycle of procrastination is sort of ingrained into a lot of our lives. Addressing this cycle and breaking it is going to relieve you and bless you with a new feeling of control in your life. Procrastination is a killer. I can relate to it completely. When I was at my lowest, procrastination was literally killing me. I was such a procrastinator that when I first went to my college, well, second time going to college, first time playing soccer, during my first week of college tryouts, I didn't have a glucose monitor for my blood sugar, and I just did the most intense workout week of my life. One thing led to another. We were in a team meeting and I literally just passed out because I didn't know my sugar was low. And I ended up waking up surrounded by a bunch of concerned teammates and like three EMTs. And you would think I would have got my monitor right after that, right? Wrong. If you thought that, you were wrong. I think I waited like maybe 2 or 3 more weeks before I even got the monitor. Um, I was just really lazy and a super procrastinator. And if a near death experience wasn't enough to break my habit of procrastination, I really didn't know what would. I desperately needed an answer. All I was really concerned with was playing video games and doing enough just to get by. I didn't really care about college. I was there, but only because I had good grades in high school, right? But my life was really heading nowhere, and I needed a solution fast. Luckily, I ended up coming across two things while in college that really changed my perspective and understanding with procrastination forever. And one of those things was in my Christian tradition class, and that was the concept of the monkey mind. After going down the rabbit hole of information associated with that, I ended up coming across the procrastination cycle, and I quickly saw the connection. They kind of have like a synergistic interplay between each other. Understanding that allowed me to kind of organize my mind in a better way to where I was able to start going from a do today kind of guy to actually starting projects on time and working on them over a schedule with plenty enough time to finish. That changed my life, and a near death experience didn't. I'm pretty positive it can do the same for you. That's why today I'm going to be explaining the monkey mind, how it fuels the procrastination cycle, and what that procrastination cycle is. Additionally, I'm going to provide some suggestions on how I befriended my monkey mind and eventually broke that dreaded cycle of procrastination. So, we're going to start off with the cycle of procrastination. We all know what it is, but have you ever heard of the cycle? It's basically a play by play of what happens throughout the process of your mind procrastinating. And a little breakdown is we have unhelpful rules and assumptions. And an example of this would be like the fear of failing a test. The next level is avoidance of discomfort, and you know you need to study for the test, but the pain of boredom and the perceived failure that you have causes the urge for you to want to avoid that task. The third thing in the cycle is procrastination excuses or activities. And I call this cope because they're pretty much just surface level activities and things you do just to be busy and avoid the actual things you need to do. So an example would be like you have a test you need to study for tomorrow. And instead of doing that, you notice, oh, my laundry basket's full. I should probably clean that. And then on the way to do the laundry, you see the fridge is empty, so you should probably go to the store too, right? Next thing you know, that's when the consequences hit. The final part of the cycle is you failing the test. You avoided studying and now you failed. And that's kind of the sinister nature of the cycle is now it's going to continue. You successfully avoided the feelings of discomfort from studying and now you reinforce this type of avoidance behavior and it's just going to be on repeat until you intervene. Understanding this though is the first step to breaking it. So now that you know, you're able to have awareness and detect when you're doing it. You know, you might be making some excuses or starting to avoid it by doing something else, and you realize, oh, I'm doing that thing again. Let me just start. And even though it's not going to be fun and it's going to be uncomfortable, at least I'm going to be avoiding getting stuck in the procrastination cycle. There is two important psychological concepts I would like to cover here. I actually threw them in last minute. I just thought of it, but I really think it highlights the point here greatly. And that first thing is cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is pretty much just negative feelings you have associated with doing something that's against your beliefs or identity. So, if you're a med school student, right? A med school student needs to do their assignments because that's what a med school student does. But if you didn't do it and you didn't just own up to it and be like, yeah, I messed up, I should have did it, that leads to another thing called rationalization. And when this comes in play, it's pretty much resolving those negative feelings from the cognitive dissonance, right? Our brains don't like that incongruency and uncertainty. So it'll just be like, oh, yeah, I didn't want to do that anyways. I don't really care. But you really did. And this just continues the cycle because you're just rationalizing why you're doing it rather than addressing it and being like, okay, I need to do something about it. Luckily, you're here though, so I don't think you're gonna need to worry about rationalizing anymore. We're doing something about it. Now, the next thing I'd like to talk about is the monkey mind. And it sounds kind of weird at first. I know when I first came across it in my Christian tradition class, I was like, what is this guy talking about? But pretty much our professor just put on a YouTube video from a monk named Yonggi Mingyur Rinpoche. I probably said that completely wrong, but it was something like that. And a couple things to know about the monkey mind is that it's very impulsive, it's restless, it's emotional, and it's essentially the instinctual part of our psyche. So this is the part of your mind that's really focused on negatives, and it can lead you down an undesirable path if you let it lead you there. It really isn't capable of understanding sometimes we need to suffer, sometimes we need to be bored in order to achieve things in real life. But the monkey mind's main concern is survival. It's the instinctual part of our brain. So it just knows the emotion of uncomfort and kind of like pain, right? It associates that with the literal fear of death, whereas on the other hand, you just have a test and it doesn't know the difference. So that's where the monkey mind can start to lead you wrong when you start just letting it run wild. And the consequences, like I said, of failing a test aren't important to it. All it knows is that you're avoiding the danger and successfully surviving. So every time you do this, like in the cycle, you're just reinforcing it. But on the other hand, the monkey can be a very, very powerful ally. Rather than attempting to fight it with our rational mind, we need to learn how to exercise it and soothe it. Just as it can be hyper focused on negatives and restless, we can flip that and harness it, direct it towards productive things in our life. So, really, it's just about teaching it to calm down. And my personal example of how I flipped my monkey mind was it used to be very restless and like ruminating, worrying about things I couldn't control. And now I flip that energy towards creative ideas. So sometimes now I'll just randomly have bursts of mental energy and I'm just thinking of really good ideas and I get to write them all down. And now the monkey mind's my friend. I want that for you. And now we're going to talk about some practices for calming the monkey mind so it can be your friend too. We got to understand the monkey just wants to calm down, it just wants to keep you safe. So we can help it do that by doing meditation. Pretty much, you just want to set aside a few minutes each day, focus on your breath, and when your mind wanders to something else, just bring it back to your breath. This helps you calm down, helps the monkey mind stay chill. When you're new to this, you're going to have thoughts of like, oh, I should check, maybe something's coming, or like, I really want to move. That's the monkey mind. Ignore it. Now you're kind of learning just to sit with those feelings. It'll calm down eventually. The second thing we can do for calming the monkey mind is yoga or exercise. Even just a simple 15-minute walk, the monkey just needs to expend some of its energy and then it'll be calm and you can start to work with it. The third thing I want to recommend for the monkey mind is deep breathing practices. So one really easy one is box breathing, and that's literally just inhale deeply for 4 counts, out for 4 count or hold, and then out for 4 counts. So literally just in for four, hold for four, out for four. That's it. Repeat it, and this is just gonna help you calm down because when your monkey mind gets activated, you're kind of going into fight or flight mode. So your systems are all going, by breathing and calming down like nothing's wrong, that tells them, okay, we can calm down, and that's when you're able to regain control and just relax. As you practice these things with consistency, you're going to learn how to work with your monkey mind rather than fighting it. And there might be some times where you can't work with it, it's just going crazy. But these exercises are also going to help you to build the separation, and you're able to just sit there and be with the feelings. Now, on to the practices for resisting procrastination. The first thing I'd like to recommend is mindfulness, and mindfulness can go for the monkey mind as well. But in this situation, do you have unhelpful fears or assumptions like a fear of failure? You got to be mindful of this and start working on overcoming them. You need to be mindful of the feelings of discomfort. You got to realize these are just feelings, and if you just act on them, that's going to prevent you from getting started and making it anywhere in life. So recognize the feelings, notice they're just feelings, and just get in there and do it. Also, watch out for your brain's automatic procrastination excuses. Just being aware of these things, over time, you'll start to be able to stop yourself from continuing the cycle. The second thing I would recommend for resisting procrastination is learn how to prioritize tasks. So you could try the ABC method. Pretty much you just rank tasks in order, with A being the highest, B being in the middle, C lowest. Maybe you need to do the laundry and make a doctor's appointment and you have a test. Let's study first, get some of that done. That's priority A. Then the doctor is probably pretty important, so we'll put that at B. And then the laundry C. Do those things. It'll really help you keep things better in order. And the third thing would be scheduling. Leaving a deadline to just float around your head is really dangerous. You want to take it, put it on paper or a calendar. That's what I do. I actually do both. I make daily schedules for myself so I know everything I need to do, when to do it, and how long I have to do it. You're probably still going to procrastinate during this time, and that's completely okay. Just watching one guide isn't going to completely stop this behavior, right? But it really is important to be honest with yourself throughout this process and don't justify things for the procrastination. You want to stay consistent, and these practices, combined with your effort, are slowly going to begin to erase the procrastination right out of your life. So today we talked about how to break free from procrastination. I told y'all some stuff about what the procrastination cycle is, what the monkey mind is, and how the monkey mind fuels the procrastination cycle. I also gave y'all some methods and techniques for dealing with them, such as mindfulness, meditation, exercise. As long as y'all can stay consistent with those things, I assure you you're going to start seeing progress with your cycle of procrastination and you're going to start getting some stuff done. Just start small, stay mindful, and don't be too hard on yourselves if you mess up, right? Just be persistent, and with time, you're going to conquer procrastination like it's nothing. I really hope y'all found this information to be insightful. I hope you found it to be inspiring. And of course, I hope I was a little entertaining. I don't want to be boring y'all to death out here. I know this is some really good information. I like to mix it with a little bit of personality, bring it to y'all better. I appreciate y'all popping in today. Let me know if I could have explained anything better, if you have any questions, or if there was anything you found to be really insightful. Let me know. I love to hear from y'all. And thanks again for checking out the content. If you haven't yet, be sure to check out my blog. I write about the same exact things that I talk about on here. I'll make sure I'll leave that link in the description. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see y'all in the next one. Take care.